Hi, we're going to make this the first edition of What a Good Governor Can Do. I'm Mark Stewart, candidate for governor, good guy, and this is the gist of what I gave over to the CCDL audience last week. They're passionate about protecting the Second Amendment. I want to talk about the other amendments, because to some extent, all but one is being eroded. Here's what a good governor can do about the First Amendment. The problem is not government restricting free speech. We don't see that yet. It's private groups restricting free speech. And here is maybe a bigger worry. The private groups that coalesce in the left. The leftists that want to harm America and with it harm the rest of the Western world. They curtail speech. Our basic right, they don't let freedom of speech flourish. What can the governor do? At least on the campuses of Connecticut controlled by this state, paid for by you, 3.6 million taxpayers. I will protect your wallets and the dignity of what the state is teaching. I would not hire a faculty member who is a nihilist or a avowed Marxist. They have nothing of value to teach. Might assign their reading, but don't hire them on campus. And if they happen to be hired already and they're up for tenure, I would weigh in against it. Also, to the groups who would stifle speakers from freely speaking on campus. You can use your own speech to speak out against these people, but don't use threats of violence. Don't impede their movement. You're in the way in a thoroughfare, you're going to be arrested. Put that on your record and see how employers treat that, you graduating seniors. I personally, and I hope collectively, have a bit of an antidote too. To the big newspapers that have distorted the truth and to some extent suppress free speech, don't buy their paper. Don't buy stuff from those who advertise in their paper. The New York Times has been an enemy of freedom. I won't subscribe. I'll occasionally read the sports pages if they're lying around. I will not buy any advertisement if there's an advertiser I know that's also in the New York Times. That's a citizen's veto that might be worthy. Let's talk about Amendment 3. That's, a lot of people don't know it, the quartering amendment. Quartering of soldiers, and it goes back to the bad old days of England, when the king would command that a homeowner open up half of his barn or half of his home to smelly, sometimes drunken soldiers to be housed. And it's really scary if the guy has daughters and these soldiers are leering at her. We said no, that won't happen in this country. Amendment 4, privacy, meant to be protected. No searches without warrant. No confiscations of your person's papers and effects. Unfortunately, a state governor can do very little against the encroachment against privacy because it's mainly done by technology in the hands of individuals and big private organizations. Whatever the government can do, Google and Apple can do at least as well, and might be doing it even now. Yeah, my solution is kind of a good citizen thing. Don't do bad stuff. Then you don't have to be embarrassed about somebody who does get a hold of your emails or letters. Okay? Don't cheat on your wife. Don't cheat on your business partners. Don't defraud customers. Don't do malicious things to employees. You're upstanding, you got nothing to hide, so it might come out. Reciprocally, be tolerant of other people's peccadillos. Okay? things that don't inherently harm other people, if they're just thoughts, not actions, I don't think people should be excoriated for it. Now, on the privacy realm, one thing this governor would do is make sure that the castle doctrine is enforced against agents of the government that might be coming for those searches with unreasonable manners. That's what the Fourth Amendment protects, and to the extent that a man's home is his castle, the people, even if they're government agents, if they don't have the right to get after your stuff, you have the right to repel them. Fifth Amendment. Well, the nadir, I hope, the bottom point of Fifth Amendment loss of rights came in 2005, the Kelo decision that emanated from this state. That was a low point, because after that horrible taking of private property, many states built up the protections against wrongful takings. In Connecticut, it was the city of New London teaming up with a big corporation to develop, for the sake of mainly the corporation, to some extent the city's tax revenues, and with no regard to the individual homeowners that they were bulldozing. Literally, they used bulldozers against New Londoners' homes. I am actually a sponsor, a promoter of the new movie called Little Pink House, which is about the Kelo case, the decision, the support, and you can see it in theaters in Connecticut, and at some of them, I'll be there to talk afterwards. So I look forward to seeing you all for that. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. 6 through 10 comes up next.